Please drink responsibly.
Pardon the interruption, but I'm Mike Wilbon. Tony, 1 year ago tonight, the Bucks beat the Suns to win the NBA title. Where were you? Do you remember?
Tony Kornheiser. I was here. Mike, I was right here.
Oh,
where it was.
Oh, yeah.
A year ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. The bubble, you were there.
I watched the
Suns,
game.
Bucks, you were there. Dubs, Celtics, you were there.
Is where my heart is. Yeah. The Knicks,
clearly.
In 1969. I was here. Welcome to PTI, boys and girls. In today's episode, the Lightning are down and Kyrie Irving could be out. But we begin today with the U.S. Open, which was won by Northwestern's own and England's Matthew Fitzpatrick,
yes,
who
sir.
won the U.S. Amateur on this same country club course 9 years ago. Fitzpatrick won 68-68 on the weekend and made 2 second shots on 15 and 18 yesterday that were simply extraordinary. Wilbon, what are your thoughts on who won and who didn't?
Well, Tony, you already started. You gave it away with my thoughts on who won. A kid who spent a little time in Northwestern. Either one and done, like a lot of athletes. I mean, that doesn't stop people from. Wasn't Tiger a one and done at Stanford? Was he a two and done? I think he was a one and done. John McEnroe was a one and done at Stanford. Great players in every sport, not just basketball, can often be one and done. And Matthew Fitzpatrick was sort of ticketed for that, Tony. And as you know, you and I talk about this weekly almost. He was one of those guys who got close a lot, but he didn't win here. He had won 7 times, I believe, internationally, mostly in Europe, if not all in Europe. A late bloomer, Tony, at 27 to do this. But I told you on Thursday, I had run into people in the greater golf land, golf community, young guys, Zalatoris younger, but they've been in the top, 20. And so they've been around close. And Fitzpatrick with a couple of amazing shots, particularly the one out of the bunker on 18. And I'm rooting for him. I'm rooting for purple. And because we talked, I was thrilled that this kid was able to he's 27, but that he was able to cash in and win his first major.
So I will leave Fitzpatrick mostly to you, but I will talk about who lost. Because 5 players in the top 10 in the world who were on the leaderboard on the weekend, they all lost. Jon Rahm, the defending champion, Rory McIlroy, Sam Burns, Colin Morikawa, and Scottie Scheffler. That leaderboard was loaded. And this tournament was not lost. Fitzpatrick and Zalatoris did not back in. This kid won the tournament. And let me get to those shots. Because on 15, he's all the way on the left. He's off the course. It's a 200-yard shot. He puts it on the green. People go, wow. And then on 18, Paul Azinger had just said, when Fitzpatrick stepped to the tee, the only place you can't go is left. You can't go in the sand on the left. He hits it in the sand on the left, and you can hear Azinger say, what a huge mistake. And Mike, much like everybody in the country watching, and I'm sure like you too, I went, okay, he'll bogey here. We get a 3-way playoff.
We get a
But that's not what happened. That's not what happened. It's 160 yards out, and he hits it to a very comfortable position for a comfortable par. Scheffler, a little while before, had missed a birdie putt on 18 to the left. Zalatoris had a birdie putt. He missed it by this much to the left. Mike, I thought it was in. I thought that putt was in.
I thought we were good. We were ticketed for a Monday playoff, Tone. I thought we were.
Fitzpatrick, well, it wouldn't have been a Monday playoff. They don't have the 18 anymore. They would have gone straight there.
Oh, I thought they had the 18. Okay.
Fitzpatrick is 27. No, Fitzpatrick is 27. Scheffler, who's now 1-2 in the last 2 majors, is 25. Zalatoris is 25. Morikawa, I believe, is 25. These are the people we're going to be looking at for a while. These are great young players, but there are 2 questions, Mike, that come up immediately. This comes up immediately when a young Englishman wins a major like this. Is he going to be more like Danny Willett or more like Nick Faldo? Because those are the extremes. And the other question that comes up is Greg Norman, how much money is Greg Norman going to offer him to join the Saudi tour?
Well, they're going to be offering a lot of people to join the Saudi tour, Tone, and he'll decide what it is that he wants to pursue and how he wants to do it. And while I know of Matthew Fitzpatrick, I don't know him well enough to know sort of what motivates him. It seems like stalking majors and being close and now cashing in is a large part of what motivates him. We don't know. The Live Tour is going to evolve, and we don't know where that's going to be and what part it's going to play in the world and things like world rankings. We don't know any of that yet, even though everybody who wants to declare their ever-loving loyalty to the PGA Tour acts like they know it. They don't know it. And so we're going to have all these questions answered maybe slowly, not all at once, maybe. The Avalanche and Lightning are back on the ice tonight. Colorado won Game 2 of the Stanley Cup Final by a shocking score of 7-0. Tampa Bay star Steven Stamkos called the result not acceptable and added, quote, "Let's get back home in front of our fans and let's see what we're made of," close quote. Tone, do you have faith that the two-time defending champs are going to bounce back tonight at home?
So I will get to that question, but first, let's review the action so far. You, Wilbon, and your boy Messier fell in love with Tampa Bay and thought that they would win this series, even when I said, I don't think they should be favored. Tampa Bay is now down 2-0 in games and 11-3 in goals. Vasilevsky, who you and your boy Messier are in love with, has given up how many goals? 11
He gave up
goals
7
in
in
2
one game.
games.
The 7 is the shocker. 7.
All I ever
Awesome.
said, and I didn't say that I thought that Colorado would win the series. I said I thought they should be favored from the start. They should be favored because they had more wins and more points in the regular season than Tampa Bay by a nice sum. They should be favored because they score a goal and a half per game more than Tampa Bay in these playoffs. And they should be favored because they're running through the playoffs even better than Tampa Bay. At the moment, they're 7-0. 7-0. I'm sorry, they're not 7-0. At the moment, they're 14-2 with a plus 33 in goals. And what I wanted to mention was that John Cooper, after the first game, said, we didn't play well at all and we were really close. He didn't say that after the second game because 7-0 isn't close. Do I think they're going to bounce back? I do think they're going to bounce back, Mike, but I told you over the phone the other night, they got to win 4 out of 5. That's hard to do in the finals against a good team. That's hard.
You know what else is hard? Being a two-time champion, but they're that. Now, I don't give a damn who's favored. I don't care who's favored. The BPI favored the Boston Celtics by 86%. How stupid was that? I don't care who's favored. The champs are the champs still until you knock the crown off their head. Now, the Avalanche have certainly taken a swing and seem to have connected, and there's a standing 8 count right now. But the champs are not out yet. And by the way, I'm rooting for the Avalanche. I'm not rooting for the SEC, okay? You know I've been over this since the end of April, beginning of May, whenever the Stanley Cup playoffs started. But, Tone, they're the champs. And with Stamkos, I love the attitude of that. Let's see what we're made of. That's what champs find out. And so the Golden State Warriors, they were down 1-0 and 2-1. Let's see what we're made of. We found out they were made of championship stuff still.
Look, if a lot of the ills that Tampa Bay has will be erased almost if they win 2 at home, and we both understand that. But they're still going to have to win 1 on the road at some point. I would be worried about Vasilevsky's orientation towards confidence now. I mean, I'd worry, is something wrong with this guy at this point? I do think they'll bounce back and win, but I would be concerned about the way they were beaten in Colorado. I would be very concerned about that. Colorado jumped on them early, and then in the overtime.
It starts with speed. Colorado's speed is providing, it's a problem for Tampa. And especially when they get down. I know they came back from down 3-1 in game 1 to tie it and then lost it. But they can't keep getting down. They got to get a lead tonight and play from ahead against that team with that talent and that depth and that speed.
The Athletic is writing that talks between Kyrie Irving and the Nets have gone stagnant and that Irving's tenure there may end. The Athletic says a bunch of teams might pursue Irving. One would be the Knicks, one would be the Clippers, and one would be, how great is this, the Lakers. Wilbon, could you see Irving leaving Durant and the Nets and reuniting with LeBron?
I can see Kyrie Irving leaving anywhere because he's an egomaniac. And he thinks he's the solution to everything. And he's a hell of a player. You know, he's one of the great talents in the league. He's one of the great talents in the league in the last 15 years. But, Tone, they're not winning anything with him in Brooklyn. And I think in Brooklyn, they're starting to understand that. They saw what they got now. And Kyrie Irving did win 1. He won 1 with LeBron. And then LeBron threw him out. LeBron got tired of him. I don't care what flowery language you hear LeBron threw him out. LeBron got tired of it. And by the way, everybody around that situation says it was totally justifiable that LeBron did the right thing after they won that championship. Now, LeBron's in a different position now, Tone. He needs some help. He needs some talent on that team. I don't believe for 1 second that Russell Westbrook and LeBron are going to combine and win a championship. He and Kyrie might. They may be able to rekindle the magic, and he may take a chance. And you know Madison Square Garden would like to sell Kyrie, and you know Ballmer thinks he can do it all, and he can have Kyrie. And they can. I don't believe the Clippers would win with Kyrie either. But this is going to be a fascinating off-season pursuit and all kinds of mini drama. Where will Kyrie land next?
I love this story. I can't tell you how much I love it.
I know you do.
It's sort of it's an everyday disaster movie, and it's sort of could be for us what First Take had with Will Dak Get Paid. Kyrie Irving could be our daily soap opera. He could be our Kardashians. And you have to know the backstory, and you're alluding to it. Kyrie Irving went on a podcast called I Am Athlete, and he said he lamented the way he left with LeBron, and he said it wasn't satisfying. He said he didn't reveal his true feelings to LeBron. He isolated himself. And now we can cue the string music here. Because the only thing that would be better with those two getting together again, who hate each other, would be if the Lakers traded Russell Westbrook for Kyrie so he could get back together with Durant, because they also hate each other.
That won't happen. That won't happen.
I don't understand, Mike. I don't understand why a good team would want him. He has proven he destroys teams. In the near term, he has proven he destroys teams. He's a terrible teammate. I understand the Knicks because they aren't any good, but the Lakers, Mike, every single day we could talk about this. It would be fantastic.
Tone, can't you see it though?
Because
LeBron's got one or two more shots.
Right. People will say immediately, oh, they're going to win an NBA title, just like they say when the Cowboys draft somebody.
They'd be favored.
No.
Yeah, they'd be favored, to quote your people in Vegas. They're favored. They should be favored. Who gives a damn if they're favored?
Coming up is Kenny Atkinson doing a sensible thing by turning down the Hornets' head coaching job in order to stay an assistant with the Warriors.
Yeah, well, he will be favored. Bradley Beal says he's made a decision about his future with the Wizard. Won't say what it is. Is he actually going to leave?
So do you think it would work with Kyrie and LeBron? Because I do not.
To a great degree, I think it would work. I think it would.
Pardon the Interruption is presented by Find the Fine Life. Live La Vida Más Fina. Part of Happy Hour.
Happy time, people. Happy 87th birthday, Len Dawson. The winning quarterback in Super Bowl IV, played 19 seasons in the AFL and NFL, the final 14 for the franchise that started as the Dallas Texans and became the Kansas City Chiefs. Dawson's greatest moments came under Hank Stram, whom Dawson knew from college. Rather than run the split tee for Woody Hayes at Ohio State, Dawson went to Purdue, where Stram was an assistant. Dawson had little impact with his first NFL team, the Steelers. His second NFL team, the Browns, released him. Dawson signed with Dallas in the AFL, a move that reunited him with Stram and led to league dominance. After his playing days, Dawson went into broadcasting and ultimately spent 32 years in the Chiefs radio booth.
Wow. Tony, the heroes of our youth, guys like Len Dawson and Joe Namath, the fact that these guys are approaching an end in their 80s is freaking me out a little bit, right? I was not, when I heard we were doing Lenny Dawson's birthday, I'm like, what is he, 75, 76? 87.
Older.
Wow, man.
Older. Happy anniversary, Max Scherzer. Around this day 3 years ago, the Warrior God of the Washington Nationals struck out 10 Phillies in 7 scoreless innings just one day after breaking his nose while trying to bunt in batting practice. You will notice the black eyes Scherzer sustained as well. Since then, Scherzer has moved on to the Dodgers and now the Mets, where he continues recovering from an oblique strain. The 3-time Cy Young winner threw 50 pitches in a simulated game last Thursday. If he feels up to it, Scherzer plans to make a minor league rehabilitation start tomorrow, maybe back to the Mets after that.
Tony, I may not root for Max Scherzer as hard as you do, but I'm a big Max Scherzer fan.
Yeah.
But while he's on the Mets, he's dead to me. I can't root for him on the Mets. We've been over this time and again. You mentioned 1969 earlier in the show. just to get under my skin. Others may not have noticed, but I noticed. Don't do that again.
Happy trails to Grayson Murray's putter and wedge, the 544th ranked golfer in the world. Not only qualified for the U.S. Open, but he made the cut. He was 8 over when Sunday began and 8 over when he got a quad on number 7. Murray flung his putter like a tomahawk into the fescue. He tripled number 9. Then when his approach shot on number 10 went short and into the deep rough, Murray snapped a wedge over his knee. Murray finished 10 over for the day, 18 over for the Open, tied for last. But he led the field in bad behavior. This is the U.S. Open, not some beer league foursome at a Muni.
Man, you think temper and the inability to control himself might contribute to him not being better than perhaps he is?
Yes, I would agree with that. Here we go to the big finish. Mike
Let's
Trout
do
with
it.
5 homers in a 5-game series against the Mariners. Are you impressed?
I'm impressed they won 4 or 5, Tone, but you can't trust the Angels. You just can't. Not till we get to like mid-September. Bills coach Sean McDermott tells the Buffalo News he no longer sleeps in the office and strives for work-life balance. Your thoughts?
My thoughts are he's 1 year away from retiring. Football coaches sleep in the office. When they say, I'm not doing that anymore, they don't want to do it anymore. They're out. Naomi Osaka withdrew from Wimbledon with an Achilles injury she suffered at the Madrid Open. Your thoughts?
I hope there is great tennis still in front of Naomi Osaka, my favorite person on that tour. I hope there's more great tennis in her. The Pirates called up their top prospect, O'Neal Cruz, a 6'7" shortstop. Tony, are you intrigued?
I am. I think Cal Ripken was the tallest shortstop I knew. He was about 6'4" or 6'5". 6'7's really big. Last one, Jack Sawinski of the Pirates homered 3 times with his dad.
Interruption, presented by Corona Extra, part of Happy Hour.
It's time to hear the whiny, high-pitched voice of the people. Let me see what's first here. Here we go.
Mail time!
What do you make of Kenny Atkinson turning down the Hornets head coaching job to remain the Warriors' top assistant?
Tony, I guess there are a few things, and I guess the truth will come out, will drip out later. But, these things are either over money or he thinks that Steve Kerr has got a year or 2 left and he might be in line for that. And I don't know which one, or maybe some combination thereof. If Steve Kerr wants to be around, Steve Kerr's going to be around. Now, Steve obviously famously had some health issues, and Steve Kerr is already going to go down as one of the great coaches of all time. So I don't see Steve Kerr as being leaving or being forced out. Maybe it's money. Maybe it's just he looked at the Warriors and say, it's good to win. I'm going to hang out here for a while.
Yeah, I have no idea what to make of this. There are only 30 jobs like this. He's going to go work for Mitch Kupchak, who I believe when he was GM of the Lakers won some championships. Going to go work for Michael Jordan, who won 6 championships as a player. He gets LaMelo Ball, he gets Gordon Hayward, he gets a team that was in the play-in 2 years in a row where they said if there was better coaching, they might have gone a little bit further. So like you, I am very skeptical with what I know so far. I think that there is more to this story, and I anxiously await Kenny Atkinson telling me what more there is, because to me, this does not make a whole lot of sense. Mike, he nailed the job.
And Bridges, those are good players. They got a good nucleus of a roster in Charlotte.
The job.
Yeah.
Do Bradley Beal's comments on his free agency lead you to believe it's more or less likely that he stays with the Wizards?
I mean, there's too many times of crying wolf. You and I know Bradley Beal. I like Bradley Beal tremendously. He's a hell of a player. There's a handful of guys I'm paying $250 million, which is what the Wizards could pay him. And Bradley Beal's not one of them because he's not a one. He's not a guy you build around as a one, as a franchise superstar player, and then contend for a championship. He's not. He's a terrific player. But, Tone, I think he's staying, and they'll try to build around him. But it's crying wolf. He's done it a few times. Yeah, I don't think he's going anywhere.
I didn't know he was going to leave. I thought he had said a number of times that he was happy here. He seems content to be the best player on a mediocre team. He will never win in Washington with this team. He will not win. So if he wants to win, he has to accept being the second or third best player on another team. I think he'd look great in Miami. Think he'd look great in Milwaukee.
Lakers.
I think he'd look better in Dallas.
Lakers.
I think he'd be great
Dallas.
there. But he has never impressed me as somebody who burned to win. She just hasn't. Enough email.
Well, you can
Let's take
like
one last
living where
break.
you are, and he likes D.C. like you. He likes the
Okay,
attic treatment.
then take a lot of money. Take a lot of money and stay, but you won't win.
250.
Still to come. You don't think they'll win, right? Grayson Murray needs a new club or two. Or two.
And the Pirates call up a shortstop. You and Bradley Beal, you guys are like the odd couple. You won't leave D.C. No matter what happens, you don't leave.
The Eastern Conference is loaded